1 year ago, I was a college senior who had no idea where I wanted to live, what I wanted to do with my life, and where I would end up after the summer. But what I did know is that I did not want to stay at home. As a wise man once said, when there is a will, there is a way. What I did, I found my city, I found my apartment, I found my roommates, and now I've lived in what is now Washington, D.C. for 6 months now. Quick background on me. Where I go to school, University of Delaware. How old am I? 22. What did I study in college? Political science and public policy. Why did I choose DC? Well, it's the political center of the USA. I was a political science major, and the job I got was in DC as well. I got the job because that's where I looked. So overall, I'm young, I did it, you can do it too. Now I'm gonna give you all my 5-step process to how I went about looking for a new city, finding a job, finding roommates, finding an apartment, and doing the move itself. First step, make a list of 10 cities you're possibly interested in moving in. This has to be like cities you'd realistically move to, and consider all the characteristics of these cities: the weather, the proximity, the opportunities, the social atmosphere. Once you have all those considerations, start chipping away at your top 10 and narrow it down until you're at your top 3, and then finally land on your one city that you know you really would be happy moving to. Number 2, start looking for jobs in that city, or actually, really it only has to be within a close proximity, say maybe 30 minutes from that city. But landing a job is crucial. Find a job that you want to have, that you're going to be motivated for, and that will make you super happy. And cities are honestly a great place to look for jobs because that's where a lot of the jobs are concentrated. Third is to figure out your living situation. Now this is where things get a little more complicated but are still doable. So if you're moving to a city with some friends, what you probably want to do is you already have your group together, so just look for apartments. A good way to do that is to look at online listings, look at Facebook groups of apartments that are open, really search out the area really good and find that apartment. However, if you're moving in there by yourself, like me, a good place to start is looking at different Facebook groups. There's always people moving in and out of cities. There's always people looking to fill gaps in their apartments. There's always realtors listing, really great opportunities. So if you're moving to a city by yourself, I'd recommend start by looking at, openings. A lot of times there's apartments that are ready. They only have one opening, so you can kind of just jump right in. Sometimes people are looking to form a roommate group so they can then get an apartment. Look for those Facebook groups, and within those Facebook groups, you'll find tons of opportunities. Fourth is to get your finances in order and make sure you have enough money saved and ready to make this move. There are so many costs that you don't think of that come with moving to a new city. So first, you're gonna need your security deposit, you're gonna need your first month's rent, you're gonna need your second month's rent, you're gonna need your utilities, you're gonna need parking, you're gonna need a lot of different expenses that you probably not initially forecast. So I would just double check your accounts, make sure you have everything you're ready. For your job, do you need a car? Do you know how you're gonna cover transportation? Think of every possible question for your finances and have some extra money saved so that when you move to your new city, the last of your worries is your financial situation. Fifth and final step, but one that you really cannot overlook, is the move itself. How are you gonna be getting all your furniture, and how are you gonna get situated within this new city? Now, if you live close, it's probably not too difficult because you have friends and family in the area. But if you're moving to a city far away, or even a couple hours away, it's a little more complicated. You might need to save a couple $100s for U-Hauls. You might have to see if you have some friends in the area who can help you out. Once you get there with all this furniture, who's gonna help you move it in? Is it your roommates who you don't even know yet? These are all the questions you need to consider. So think about the move. If you're moving cross country, you might wanna have furniture that's ordered in that area that you could easily bring over. It really depends on where you're moving, but this is the final part and something that you really need to consider and think about more before you finalize your move. Moving was a very difficult decision, and it hasn't had its negatives and unexpected challenges and things like that. But overall, I would say it's the best thing I could possibly do for my personal development and for my overall happiness. I knew that outside of college, I wanted to start my own life and get one foot in the door within a new city. Cities have so many great opportunities to meet new people, advance professionally, and really just start a new life. So moving to a city, although it brings a lot of challenges, there's really so many more opportunities, and you can kind of just accelerate your growth as an individual. The thing I didn't want to leave out is what I think is the biggest barrier to people being hesitant or afraid to move to a new city. And that is kind of feeling that you're all alone and that you're not sure what to do. So the one thing I would say is that you totally can move to a new city by yourself. I haven't done it, but I know people who have. And as long as you have, an opportunity, whether that be a job, an internship, some family in the area, that's enough to get you started. That's your connection within the city. However, having at least one friend, whether that be a family member, cousin, a friend from college, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, something like that, that will make your move just a little bit easier because you know you have that one person to fall back to in the area. So perhaps my biggest advice is maybe just move with a friend or move to an area where you know a friend is, because having that fallback will just make the initial stage where you're kind of just settling in and, you know, finding your place just a little bit easier. So that concludes the video. That's my 5-step guide. I tried to keep it concise and sweet, and I hope that does help if you're considering moving to a new city. This is, you know, maybe a good plan to get you started or at least thinking about the move. Peace.